my name is Dani. I'm an art instructor, and you're tuned in to the Able Artswork Virtual Learning channel. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I'm going to show you how to use your colored pencils to draw and color a pumpkin. You're going to need an orange colored pencil, a yellow colored pencil, and a brown colored pencil. But if you only have an orange colored pencil, you can still follow along and learn a lot about how to achieve the shapes in this drawing. So grab your materials and we can get started. So first, I want to have us look at this pumpkin together, so maybe we can get an idea of how to break it down into different shapes. So it kind of looks like a sphere that's been squished pretty heavily. Some pumpkins are rounder than this, but this is a really small one. This is a pretty common shape. And we want to notice that this pumpkin is not smooth on the sides. All pumpkins have these parts called ribs that kind of make it look like it could be broken into little pieces. These ribs are deeper in when you're drawing. You can tell from the shadows that they are darker. So we just want to keep this in mind for the tutorial today. So I'm going to grab my orange colored pencil, and I'm going to start by making an arc, kind of a rainbow shape, going up and then back down. And we're going to repeat that a few times to show the top of the pumpkin that has these ridges. So if you're following with your colored pencil around this pumpkin here, you can see that it has these bumps. So I'm having these arcs go in both directions, and that will be the top of our pumpkin. Next, let's bring the sides down to the bottom, just using curved lines here. And we're going to mimic the same shapes that we've got here along the top, because these ribs go all the way around to the bottom. So we're going to have these bumps repeating across the shape. So that is our basic outline. Next, we're taking our pencil and we're going to start coloring it in very lightly, but the way we're doing that is coloring in light arcs that follow the shape of the pumpkin. We're going to imagine that we are pulling our colored pencil down the side. It's going to be curved, not just flat marks. So if I hold up my pumpkin again, look at what it's like if I have my colored pencil on it and I'm pulling it down. It's moving in an arc. It is not a flat surface. If we want to achieve the correct texture on our pumpkin, we are going to have to use arc shapes. So let's move on to the next little section here. We are just extending these arcs all the way across. And this is how we will be lightly coloring in the first layer of our pumpkin. Now the arcs will start to come to a straight line in the very center and curving around the other direction as we move across to the right. Just going to be continuing these marks till we've filled in our pumpkin, and then we can start layering colors. Going to do another pass over the surface to fill it in so it doesn't just look like lines, but like a fleshed out surface. Still making these arcs. Great. Now if you have one, take a yellow colored pencil. We're going to start making the same shapes on top of the orange, the same arcs all the way across. This is going to slightly change the hue of our pumpkin to be more of a yellow-orange than a flat orange. The more colors that you have for your colored pencils, the better, and the more realistic it'll come out. But we're just going to work with a few colors today. But if you've got several different oranges or browns or yellows, try layering them and see how they can make the colors look a lot different. You can start pressing down harder because the yellow is very light. We're going to be going over this again in some oranges and browns, so don't worry if it starts looking very yellow to you. We just want to make sure that the yellow is shining through the colors that we put on top. So I'm going to take a darker colored pencil. It's kind of a dark reddish brown. If you want, you can just take a regular brown colored pencil. I'm going to start outlining the ribs so each section can look a bit more prominent. Just like when we looked at our pumpkin, the ribs are a lot darker because of the shadows. So we want to give those some attention. Now let's add some orange on top. I'm going to be pressing down harder than the first time. That way we can still see the yellow coming through, but we're bringing it back to a mostly orange drawing. You can see that if you've been following along with the arc shapes, that you can really see the texture of the pumpkin. Next, I'm going to take my brown colored pencil and start making some lines across the surface. You can use it as a little bit of shading along the bottom of each of these pieces and around the ribs. You can also use it for some streaks across the surface. If you've ever looked at some pumpkins, some of them look like they've got some marks and splotches. They are often not just a flat orange. So try experimenting with different browns and oranges and layering them. Now, I'm going to speed up my video to show all the different colors I'm going to be layering. Again, if you only have an orange colored pencil and only a yellow colored pencil, that will do just fine, but I want to show how you can use a lot of different materials to achieve a more textured result. The more you press down, the more vibrant and saturated the colors will become. So once you've got a few layers of colors down, don't be afraid to start really pressing down your pencil and make it a super vibrant pumpkin. I'm just going to go through and give it some bolder outlines, and then we can add the stem and finish up. So just using dark brown colored pencil to finish up with these details. Now we've just got to add the stem. If you want, you can add a little face to this pumpkin, make it a jack-o'-lantern. I hope that you had fun drawing with me today. I hope that you got to play with layering some colors. Hope you like that it came out. Maybe cut it out, hang it on your wall to get into the autumn spirit. Check out the other videos on our channel about art, language, and music.